It's so much easier to please God than it is to impress God. Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Sabbath School Study Group, part number 2, answering the question, pleasing God. Let's talk about that. Our nature, we have a performance-based mentality because we're in the flesh, where whatever we want, we've got to work for it. And the same mindset can oftentimes spill over into our faith walk. We don't switch the channels. We don't change the circuits to where, oh, now I'm walking in faith. I'm still walking, but I'm walking in faith. I'm not working by flesh. And so the idea comes to where we think that we've got to impress God in order to be in this relationship with him. But no. He's simply saying that there is something that's in your power to do, and that's to please me. But what does that mean? Before we see how we can be pleasing to God, I want to thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Hitting the like button makes it easier for the algorithm to tell somebody else, go check this out. And by all means, pass it on. And you can always check out the website. That's changeministry.org, where you'll see this study and many, many more on health, prophecy, family, and more. And then finally, we want to invite you to invite us. We love to come to your church and your school and share and fellowship and study in the word. To do that, just hit us up at our email address. That's at contact@changeministry.org. The idea of pleasing God is built on the premise that God has pleasure. And because we're so fleshly and we have this eros mindset of love as opposed to this agape mindset of love, the word pleasure, sometimes for some, it's hard to even think of God and pleasure in the same sentence. God is the source of true pleasure, lasting pleasure, pure pleasure. And it's why he says here in Psalm 149, verse 4, the Lord taketh pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. God's pleasure is people. And it's not that he's using us to please himself. He finds fulfillment in us. He exists that we might exist. And it's why we can be the greatest source of his pleasure. Even here in Colossians chapter 1, verse 9, it says, for this cause we also, since the day we heard it, do not cease to pray for you and to desire that ye might be filled with the knowledge of his will and all wisdom and spiritual understanding. Now we're getting a better picture of how we can be pleasing to God, that ye might walk worthy of the Lord unto all pleasing, being fruitful in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. Please take note of verse 10, filled with the knowledge of God, filled with spiritual understanding, walking worthy. These are all things that are pleasing to God. They bring a smile to his face. They warm his heart. But that's not all. Right on the top, as clear as day, verse 20 of Colossians 3 says, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord. It pleases God when we honor our parents. And I'm not just talking about little children honoring their parents. I'm talking about adult children honoring their senior parents. God is pleased. He enjoys seeing that. So the fact that we've got all these verses telling us to do these things that are pleasing to God proves that God finds pleasure in us. That's a blessing. We'll stop there. In all the stuff we've done and all the mistakes we've made and all the mess we've made, it's a miracle to know that you and I, even now, when we come to him, when we turn to him, when we trust him, when we surrender, when we love him, it pleases him.